All right, so I am back. Today, what I hope to do is take apart the top clamp and the handlebars and start to remove all the hardware that will hold the handlebars together, except for I don't want to take apart the handlebars and the clutch lever and the brake lever. I'm hoping I can keep all of that intact so that I can just replace the hardware on the risers and then take those off, put the new risers on, and then reinstall the handlebars in the position that they're currently in. And if it doesn't work out and if it feels like it's not a good idea, then I'll start to take everything apart. But ideally, I want to keep all of these things together, protect the tank so that I don't ding it up with the moving blanket. Hopefully that helps. I'm really hoping that I don't have to take everything apart. All right, let's hope for the best here. Speedo top clamp off. All right, and let's see if we can move these bars out the way. You know what I didn't do? Fudge. I didn't remove the clips for the wiring, so it looks like that's what's holding us down. This is actually what that clip looks like if you are up close to it. So there's like these little ends that clip right into the metal bar, and that's what makes it a little bit tougher to get out. So if you have one of these, it's really easy to just get under it and then kind of loosely twist and pry down. Yeah, there's 4 on each, or 2 on each side, so 4 total. All right, so now that I have the clips off, oh shoot, my baby's awake. All right, let's see. Can I lift and pull? Yep. Okay, sweet. So, damn. That wiring harness is on there nice and good and tight. I am probably gonna have to take the fairing off, because if you can see, the wiring harness is coming right through the bracket. All right, gotta come back another day. Baby's awake. All right, so as you know, I don't have much time. This is like 3 days later, and I'm finally getting another chance to get back out here. So I'm gonna set it on time lapse, and I'm just gonna go as fast as I can to get as much of this off as possible. Again, I'm just gonna try to start with taking off the fairing and then the bracket that goes around it so that I can remove the Speedo and then clean all this up and hopefully at least mock up the risers and maybe not put the bars on quite yet, because I don't think I have more than 20-30 minutes. So, and hopefully you're able to see what I'm doing. If not, sorry, I guess. All right, so quick update. I was able to undo the cluster here, I think by trying to avoid taking off the handlebars. I definitely made more work for myself. I got the risers off without having to remove all of the signals and levers and lights from my handlebars. The handlebars are still sitting right here. I got the 2 holes here for the risers, as you can see. But over here, I'll show you what the risers look like compared to the ones I just painted. So these are the ones I just painted with the top clamp. And then right over here are the small 1-inch risers that came on the bike. So very similar. The color I think is pretty damn close and good. As you can see on the top clamp here, once I took those 2 bolts off where the fairing is being held, it also is the bracket that holds the light together. So that came down and it hangs here. All right, so I'm back for a few more minutes. I got the first riser on. You might be able to see just kind of temporarily placed here. So the next thing I need to do is actually put this one on. So the hardware that it came with, which is right here, is too long actually. So the stock bolt that was off the original risers is shorter, and it actually fits perfectly. So try to put this all together kind of in a hurry as well because I don't have much time. So yeah, check it out. So I tightened it up. The risers, I'll show you here, are pretty tight. So yeah, I understand why 6 inches is probably the norm, because I am very, very close. So you might be able to see this here in a second, but when I go to full turn, full lock, again, no pressure, there's probably 2 sheets of paper in between the riser and the tank on both ends there. So yeah, it's pretty damn tight. It's close, but overall that cleaned it up real nice. It looks really good. Next thing is I got to put the whole front end back together, all the wiring, kind of tuck it behind the light and the fairing, and then I'll put the fairing back on and figure out the next steps for the Speedo. So alright, so while I'm setting up the handlebars, I also have my relocation for my speedometer ready to go. Yeah, that looks nice. So the gasket's seated properly, looks like all the way around. No binds or pinches. Everything looks good. It looks like it's good there. So next thing, hopefully I didn't fuck this up and put this too far. Damn. Should I have fished that through there? Did I mess up? Alright, so recommendation. Before you get started wiring it all up, get it through the forks and have the wires come behind the forks. I just had to push this through, so it does work, but it would give you a little peace of mind that you're not going to have to squeeze it through the forks and the fork stem here. So it looks like it's good to go here, and yeah, just going to mount it up with the hardware. So I think I want to keep this nice and tight to the top of the triple tree. The nice thing about these Allen keys is that they have a ball end, so you can kind of go at an angle here and get a good turn on the key. One piece of advice is that if you're gonna mess around with some aftermarket parts that are maybe American or any Chinese product, you definitely want to get 2 sets of both the standard and the metric, because generally that's what's gonna come to you, is kind of a mix. And even some of this Harley stuff is a mix of both metric and standard. So yeah, almost there, waiting on some paint to dry, but looks like that was pretty simple, just a little tedious. All right, so here it is. Hopefully you're able to see what I got going on. Last time I left, I had the risers on, but they were facing inward, so they were pulled back, and it was really too close for comfort on the tank. Every time I turned, it felt like I was about to hit the tank, so I did not want that. And I realized if I just flip them up and out, it actually looks a little bit more aggressive. It's a little bit taller, but the top clamp still fits in there nicely. So I actually ended up respraying them. So I'm tightening this up just loosely right now so that I can actually sit on the bike and then play around with the location of the handlebars. And currently, as it sits, I actually think I like this the way it is. So I'm gonna tighten it all down. My hands are just right below my shoulders. I can see the Speedo here. For some reason, the video stopped working and it didn't record any of the audio, and the video is gone. So this is a few days later, but yeah, here it is. You might be able to tell what this looks like from this position here. I have the handlebars all set up. I still need to work on getting these controls exactly how I want them. I will have to take them apart, take them off the handlebars, because I also got some new grips, which you might be able to see right over here. And so I'm going to take these apart and just kind of figure that out. Overall, this was pretty tedious work. I should have just taken off the assemblies on both the left and the right side. I should have just taken the controls out, the handle, bar grips, everything. It probably would have made a lot easier work than what I did by just trying to take some shortcuts. This install for the relocation kit was actually pretty simple. Biggest thing was trying to make sure that it didn't hit the tank there, which it is perfectly fine. I have plenty of clearance on my wiring and all the cables here, so when I move left and right, all of that is in good position. This kind of cleaned it up, and I also have my quad lock system that I'm going to put right back onto the handlebar. So once I get that all mocked up, I'll probably have my phone kind of in this front position, and that'll be nicely tucked behind the fairing. Yeah, overall this was a pretty simple thing to do. It definitely took me more than a few days. If you have the time on the weekend, maybe a full 6 hours, even less, to be honest, you could probably get away with doing it yourself on a weekend or in an afternoon. The risers, as you can see, are in this upright position as opposed to a pullback position. That was just because it was too close for comfort, in my opinion, to the tank, but I think it still works out. I think it looks nice. It definitely makes it look more aggressive. Definitely thinking about painting this fairing to the matte black finish so it doesn't have this gloss on there, but that's for another day. Thanks for watching. Yeah, let me know what you think. All right, bye.